the word sanity is really kind of a balancing and centering concept that we don't use a lot. It's been on my mind lately. I saw a really clever tweet from a therapist I just started following that had an X next to mental health therapist and then a check mark next to sanity specialist. And I like that reframing because I think that sanity is sort of, it's like the word sanity evokes a gut check of, am I tethered to reality or not? Am I starting to lose my footing?
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. And it's funny, you use the word sanity, and I probably should use the word sanity over this one instead because I use the word normal. I mean, can we just be normal again? Can we have some normalcy in our planet? Because as you know, when we sit there and we kind of either diagnose or trying to somehow get some kind of perception of as to where our client's baseline is, just to so that we kind of know, okay, if their baseline is here and they're beyond their baseline or above their baseline, then they're probably, a little anxious, not feeling themselves, or maybe they're below, they're feeling a little depressed today, or where is just that baseline for them. And as it helps us kind of be able to kind of see if there is a diagnosis, what that diagnosis is based on that baseline. We have lost baseline. Society has completely lost baseline. What is baseline anymore? Like you said, what is the sanity of anything anymore? Anything goes. You want to be an elephant tomorrow? Be an elephant tomorrow. How can a society, again back to stability again, how can a society function with constant insanity going on all the time, every day, when you wake up not knowing what's right, what's wrong, what's true, what isn't? It's not. It's going to fall. It's going to destroy itself. It's going to crumble and it's going to kill the people that are in it. It's not going to function. And I totally agree with the fact that we need to bring sanity back into the system again. We have to create a baseline once more.
So Jordan Peterson talks about sort of the ideal as the norm and then the fringes, and that there will always be outliers and fringes, but that there is a function for the whole of society in having some kind of ideal. And what you're talking about is really what happens when we invert that. So we sort of center the margins and marginalize the center, so to speak, that it has this really destabilizing impact on all of society. And what I think is ironic is that the people who are for that, the people who want to see those types of changes, they're obsessed with this concept of privilege. It goes hand in hand with the concept of oppression. But I actually think that they are in the most privileged position at all, which has nothing to do with the color of your skin or your sex or your so called gender identity or any of that. I think the most privileged position is to come from such a stable society that you feel like you can afford to throw out what works.
Mhm.
I think people who really don't have that appreciate and make use of what works. It depends on what's at stake and how much you have the lived experience, the felt sense of how much is at stake. Let me put it this way. When we get behind the wheel of a car, almost all of us are conservative, right? Why? Because you are operating heavy machinery. Lives are at stake. Your life, the life of your passengers, the life of the other drivers on the road. So you're going to follow the rules of the road because you don't want to die or you don't want someone else to die, right? You take responsibility for your behavior. Now, there are some drivers that live on the edge, there are people who get consumed by road rage. But at the same time, even if you are screaming at the wheel about the jerk who just cut you off, guess what you're going to do? You're going to slow down when they cut you off. Why? Because you are controlling the thing that you are responsible for controlling that's going to keep you safe. So you're not just driving over the lines and onto the sidewalk and going through stoplights and having a grand old time throwing out all the rules and seeing what you can get away with because there's a real consequence to your actions. And I'm worried that many people aren't going to feel the consequences to the destruction that they're encouraging until it's too late.
Yes. I agree with you completely on that. It is going to be too late, and backpedaling is so much harder and fixing up is once it's gone too late, we can never go back to what it was. We can try to adjust and fix, and we can have some kind of resemblance to maybe what it was, but it will never be what it was again. We have now moved on and moved past it. So we're going to adjust and try to clean up the mistake. It's going to be hard and it's going to be painful. I think this is what a lot of conservatives back when they wanted to make gay marriages legal. I think this was the push and the fight that they were trying to say if we go down this road, if we do make it legal, which we understand why you want to, we want you to have your partner. We get it. We don't want you to not love who you love. But if we make this a legal thing, it's going to open the door for a lot more. It's we won't stop there. We will want more and more and more to the point that it's going to be what we're living today, where young children believe they are a different and opposite sex, and we are allowing them to believe that. And if anything, medically aiding them to fulfill that. This was what they were afraid of. And I think that this is like your example where we've like gone too far. We can't go back. We can't take any of that back. We won't be able to make gay marriages not gay again. I don't think that that's possible, and I don't think we should do that to them anymore. It's not fair to kind of say, oh, you're allowed to, and now you're not, just kidding anymore. So I think at this point, it's like we have to readjust. We have to kind of sit back and go, okay, what's gone too far? What didn't work? We allowed gay marriages, fine. Keep it just as that. What is the TQ, ABC, I don't know, all the other alphabets that come after it? What is all that about? Why? Why did we need all of this? Can we just go back to LGB and be happy with that and contain that in some way? Legally, what you want to do in your bedroom, in your life, I don't care. That's on you. But make it a thing where it's shoved down our throats. When it's a value that we have to push on our children, that's where we kind of have to draw the line. Go, that's not fair. I don't want that value system in my house. You can have it in yours, but I don't need the rules changed so that you feel good about the decisions you make in your house. The rules never needed to be changed in order for you to do what you wanted to do, but you have made it a value that has to be everyone's. And again, that's where the fight and the battle